Hi guys, it's Amy with A2Z Stamping.com, and today I'm going to make a birthday card using the Butterfly Basics stamp set. This stamp set has 3 sentiments on it: sending wishes your way, there's nothing in the caterpillar that tells you it is going to be a butterfly, and happy birthday. And then it's got this butterfly, this little butterfly, and this flower, and this here kind of looks like a honeycomb. It's just sort of a background stamp. There's a lot of different things you can do with that. So we're going to be using this stamp set, and it coordinates with the butterfly Thinlit dies. Let me show you what those look like real quick. They come with these 2 big giant butterfly Thinlits. So they cut this out with all these intricate cuts, but I'm not going to be using that today. I'm going to be using the framelit. It also comes with this one framelit, and that I'm going to use to cut this out. So the images are only at 80% on this. They're actually a little bit bigger than appears here. Okay, so we're going to be using that, and then we're going to be using these 4 stamp pads. I've got my basic black, and then Wisteria Wonder, So Saffron, and Pear Pizzazz. These 3 are from the Subtles collection. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is our stamping. So I am going to grab my stamps. I'm going to first, you need a piece of Whisper White cardstock. This is cut at 3 3/4 by 5 inches, and this is going to be the front of my card. And this is just basic Whisper White cardstock. Now we are going to be, this stamp set is photopolymer stamp sets. That's the clear stamps. And whenever you're stamping with photopolymer, you do want to use some sort of a foam mat. They just stamp better, especially when you're using big stamps like this. So I have my foam mat here, and I'm just going to stick it underneath because I'm going to be doing some stamping off. So I'm going to stick it underneath my paper there. And I want to start with, actually, I'm going to start with this stamp right here. This is the one that kind of looks like honeycomb. And I'm going to grab the So Saffron. All right. All right. Oops, sorry about that. So I'm just going to ink this up. Now I don't want the full color, so I'm going to stamp off and then stamp on my paper. Stamp off. And I'm not making any kind of pattern. I'm just kind of creating a background on my card. Let's see here. All right, and I think I'll do one more. Okay, there we go. And then I have my Stampin' Scrub always ready. Wet side, dry side. Scrub, dry it, and my stamp is ready to be put away. All right. And I was using the D block, so this fit perfectly. Well, it's actually quite, I had a lot of extra space, but I used the D block for that. All right, next, we close this one up. I'm going to grab the Pear Pizzazz. Let me open that up, and this time I'm going to be stamping I guess it's a fern or the leaves. This is a pretty large stamp, so you want to make sure the whole thing really gets inked up really well. And I'm also going to stamp off for this one too, because stamping off just makes it be a little bit lighter tone of the ink. So I'm going to ink that up. All right, I'm going to stamp off, and actually let me turn it. I'm going to start one fern right there. All right, ink that up again, stamp off. I just want a little piece right here. Okay, this is why I use background paper. You can just use any scrap piece of paper. I use the grid paper. It comes in handy for things like this. All right, and one more time. And I think this time I'm going to do one going this way. All right. Okay, now when you're using a large stamp like this, if I was to stamp just onto paper on a hard surface and didn't have the mat underneath, I might not get the full coverage in the center. That's why with the photopolymer stamps, it is really important to use a mat. All right, so let me clean that stamp off. And again, this here is this is the eye block, and this giant one fits really well on there. So let me close this up. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the black, and this is our archival ink. So even though basic black is a neutral, if you were to buy the neutrals ink set, you can buy all of our ink pads, you can buy individually. So you can buy each of these individually, and I think they're 6, I don't remember. Well, let me just give you accurate information here. The ink pads are, I've got it right here. They are $6.50. So an ink pad is $6.50, or you can buy them in the color family. So you could buy all the subtles or all the neutrals. So there are 10 colors in each color family, but the neutrals, the black and the white and the very vanilla ink, are not included in that, nor the basic gray. Basic black and basic gray are archival ink, so you buy those separately, and then there's white ink that's separate. Okay, anyway, now I'm going to take the flower stamp, and I'm going to put that on the eye block that we used before. All right, so you want to make sure, since this is a fairly big stamp, that you get it inked up, especially in the middle, and it's nice though, you can see through, so you can tell if it gets inked up. Now, keep in mind that your photopolymer stamps, they will get dyed by the ink. So it's perfectly normal once you use them. For instance, the butterfly, you can see it's tinted pink. That's because I've stamped it already. That's perfectly normal and fine, and it doesn't affect the stamps. All right, so that looks like it's all covered. And I want to get this on here. Let's see. I want to do right about here. I'm going to press down. Press, 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 press. Perfect. Let me scrub that off, clean that up, dry it. Now see how the stamp is completely cleaned off, but it's tinted black. That's because I've been stamping it in black ink. It's perfectly fine. All right. Now I have one more thing I want to stamp in the black. I'm going to stamp the sentiment, the happy birthday. And so let me ink that up real well. The thing I love about our photopolymer stamps, with them being see-through, is you can see exactly where you're stamping it on your paper. So I'm going to line it up. This is why I always use the grid paper, because I can get it exactly straight on here. All right. Okay, and I want to stamp that right down here at the bottom. Okay. One, looks good. Right there. Press, 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 and lift. All right, that's good. All right, clean that off, put it away. Okay, and the happy birthday fit perfectly on the H block. All right, so I'm going to put that away. Now I have one more thing to stamp. I'm going to set this aside for a second. We'll finish that in a minute. You just need a scrap piece of white, Whisper White cardstock. This is just a scrap piece here that I've got. Actually, I don't even need one that big. I think I'm going to grab something a little bit smaller. Here's another one. And I'm going to stamp the butterfly on here. I love this butterfly on this stamp set. Both of the butterflies this one has little flowers on it, and then the little tiny butterfly on the stamp set has words. It almost looks like newspaper. It's really cool. So I'm going to grab the Wisteria Wonder. And my ink pad is really inky. It's got a lot of ink on it, so I'm going to be a little bit lighter hand. Sometimes when your ink pads are really inky, you'll get too much ink on a stamp, so you want to have a little bit lighter touch. All right, so I need 2 of these, so I'm going to just put one right here, and we're going to cut these out so it doesn't really matter where it goes. So I get 1, and I go straight up. Perfect. And 2. Straight up. Perfect. See that? See how there's the butterfly fit perfectly on the C block. Okay, and I'll show you a little bit closer. Can you see that? You see how there's the flower? So that impression didn't fit through, and it's kind of got that honeycomb in the background. Really cool. All right. So now let's finish up with our ink before we move on to the next step. So I'm going to set that aside. I'm going to grab this back out. Okay, so actually I still have my Wisteria Wonder, but while it's closed, I'm going to press, press, press. Okay, then I'm going to open it up. And see, I have like a little painter's palette here. That's what I want. And I'm going to grab my blender pen. The blender pen has a skinny end and a little bit wider end, and it already has liquid in it. You don't add anything to this, and this is used to do your own painting. It will get stained, and that's normal and fine. It doesn't affect anything. So I'm going to dip my blender pen in here. You don't need a ton, just a little. And I'm going to start coloring my flowers. And see that? It just colors it right right on there, and it lasts a long time. A little bit goes a long way. So the lighter, or the longer I go, it's a little bit lighter. Actually, I'm going to color down here. It's probably a leaf, but I want more purple. And then at first, it's a little bit darker. Let's see. But see, I'm still going. I'm just going to make this kind of a lighter pink. I need a little bit more. I want my center to be really dark, so I'm going to start there, and then I'm just going to start filling this in again. So easy. All right, and then I'm done with the purple, so I just run it on here until it's clear. See, all gone. All right, put this away. And now I'm gonna take the Pear Pizzazz back out. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And I'm gonna do the leaves. Okay, so I'm gonna start with this big one here. And I'm just gonna color it in. This is a really great technique, especially if you don't, you could use the markers, but the markers are gonna be a stronger look to them. Whereas this, you can make it lighter or darker and almost more of a watercolor look if you want. You could blend colors together a little bit. You could go outside the lines. There's a lot of things you can do with the blender pen. So it's really nifty to have. And you have an entire paint palette, or for at least if you, whatever color ink pads you own, you can do a lot of different things with that. Okay, so let me finish up here. Okay, so that's done. Let me finish this. All right, and that's it. So again, this is the blender pen. All right, I'll close this up. And I think that's all our stamping. So let me set this aside. Let me pull my foam mat out. All right. So next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab out my Big Shot. Grab it right here. And I've got my magnetic platform down. I like to use the magnetic platform whenever I'm gonna be cutting out an already stamped image, because then it holds it on there really well. So you need one plate, and here's our butterflies. And I only have one framelit, so I have to do one at a time, but the magnetic platform will hold it right in place because I want it exactly over. So when I'm doing like a thinlit or cutting out something that I haven't already stamped, I like to use the precision base plate. It cuts really precise, but when I need it to stay right where I want it, the magnetic platform is perfect for that. Okay, put a plate on top and run it through. So simple. Crackling sound, totally normal. Oh, sorry guys, I'm hitting my camera. Let me get this out. Okay, so we got one done, and now let me run it through the other one. All right, line it up, and it's really easy to line these up. It actually cuts on the inside line, so not the outside, so that doesn't matter if it goes over the edge or anything. It's the inside. Actually, let me show you close up. There's a part that sticks up, and that's what cuts. So as long as you know where that is, you lay that down, line it up as best you can. All right. Oh, come on. Sometimes the magnets move, so you just gotta kind of get it in a spot. All right. Perfect. Put my plate on, run it through. And I'm gonna scoot this over so I don't hit the camera. Crackle, crackle, crackle. All right, and I'm done. So let me just grab this and get this out of my way. All right. Oh my goodness. Having all kinds of issues here. Okay, you guys, so now we've got our butterflies cut out. So now I'm going to put our card together. All right, set that aside. Okay, so let's grab our base. I'm going to take this, and first thing I want to do is I want to mount that onto some Pear Pizzazz cardstock. So this cardstock here, I've already cut it. It's cut at 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm just going to grab my snail adhesive. Oh, and of course I just ran out, but it's a good time to show you how easy it is to refill them. So the refills look like this. You just open it up. Let me throw that away. Pull this out. All right, and this just pulls apart. Okay, come on. Gotta push where it says to push. Oh, for crying out loud. It's the jinx of the camera again. Sorry about that. My phone just battery died. Okay, so anyway, you pull it apart and this just goes in the garbage. And then you just pop the new one in right on over the top. Oh. Like that, and done. This pops up. And all right, I'm back again. Sorry, that time my son came home. Okay, so I'm still putting my adhesive on the back. All right, and I'm going to put this down right here. All right, then I'm going to set this aside for a second, grab out my trimmer, and I have a piece of So Saffron, just 8.5 by 11 cardstock, and I'm going to cut this down to 5.5. All right, and then I'm going to score it this way at 4 1/4. This is just a standard A2 card. All right, done with that. I like to fold this in. Use my bone folder to get a nice crease. Okay, now I'll grab this again and I'm going to put more snail on the back. That's going to go right here on the front. Okay, now I'm going to take our butterflies and I'm going to kind of bend them up a little just to give them some dimension. I'm going to take 2 glue dots, put one on the back of each. It should fit perfectly on here. 1, 2, peel those off. And now we also have mini dimensionals. I have some coming. They should be here any day, and I can't wait to be able to use those on things like this. All right, so I'm going to put one right here, and I'm going to put the other one up here. And now to finish this off, I'm going to use the new gold faceted gems. They come in a pack like this. They come in gold, or you can buy a pack. They're called clear faceted gems, but they look silver to me. But these ones are the gold ones, and I'm going to use these little guys right here. Okay. Now sometimes, okay, here we go. I'm going to pop that right on. I'm going to grab another one. Okay, and there you go. Let me move this out of the way. And here's our card. So pretty. Now here's a couple other ones that I did earlier. This one, as you can see, none of them are exactly the same. I positioned them in different places just because I wanted to see what they would look like different. And then here's a third one. And on this one, I don't know if you can tell real well on the camera, but I used the Wink of Stella, the gold Wink of Stella. That's this. And, or I guess it's just called Wink of Stella. And I did that right here. And can you see that? It adds glitter. And I did some right there. Oh, sorry, let's get it in the camera shot. It adds gold glitter. Let me see if I can get the light up here. There we go. Can you see that? It's really pretty. So there you go. Really super simple happy birthday card using the basic butterfly stamp set. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks, guys. Make sure you visit me at a2zstamping.com and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks. Bye.